Welcome to season 8, episode 9 of The Will Reads. Chris, your mic is mute. Oh, there it goes.
Yeah.
There he goes. Yeah, technical difficulties. Yeah, we're doing this on a Friday night, which is weird because I drink on Friday nights. So I've been drinking. Hey, drinking time, and I'm still drinking.
All right.
Got an IPA going for me. I thought this was an orange smash, and then realized it was a grapefruit smash, and I don't like grapefruit, so IPA is. So IPA. Yeah. IPA. So a busy weekend for at least me and this channel. Not so much for you guys. You guys got tonight. I have all 3 nights this week. So, of course, we're doing this tonight. Tomorrow night is the first playoff round of the championship series for what? 4 chance to come back tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. It'll be at 10. It's not 9, it's 10. The reason why we're doing it later is because I'm going, hopefully, if it doesn't get rained out, a soccer game tomorrow. And not sure when I'll get back. So I want to give me.
You're gonna. What's that group? The Lion?
Yeah, no. Lionsbridge Football Club.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Local little semi-pro. I mean, they're professional. They get paid, but they're not they're not MLS or anything like that. But yeah, so I'm gonna go watch play some soccer or football, as you call it, the rest of the world.
Which only makes sense. They play it with their feet.
It does make sense.
I played soccer at one point.
The funny thing about soccer is actually the word soccer comes from the British, and then they went back to calling it football, and they made fun of us for calling it soccer, and they came up with the word. Yeah.
Interesting. They probably came up with soccer just to see if we'd copy them, and then we did. They were like,
"Got him!"
Look, they're so stubborn; they're not going to change back. They're stuck with it forever.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's Anyways, so crazy week. I know it's been crazy for all of us. Chris was traveling. I was just watching submarine news, and like everyone else in the entire world. And keeping on that. And editing other podcasts to get those out. And then Sunday night, of course, is Cosme Reads. I did mention that. So Water Fortune tomorrow night, Sunday night, 9 p.m. Cosme Reads. Continuing on with the Mistborn, minus Will, because it's just gonna be me and Londo Sunday. Because Will's and Perry.
Betty.
Ooh.
Oh, Perry. Yeah, he's on his honeymoon, so he's gonna be in Perry.
Honeymoon. Who needs a honeymoon?
Yeah, who needs a honeymoon? Exactly. He got married last fall, but the submarine shit was wild. It was wild. It was crazy. I mean, it's always sad that we lost lives, but it was pretty dumb at the same time. Ian, quit watching the news.
Sorry, you mentioned all the. So I've been not watching the news. All of this is news to me, as you say it. So before show, Alan gave me like a 30-second tidbit of all the crazy things happening in the world, and I was like, "Oh, I got to read about this." And no joke.
This week's been insane. And then Russia tonight. I know we have Russian listeners in that part of the world, but yeah.
I hope that resolves itself without it getting crazy, because that could turn very bad for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So now I'm gonna not watch the news for another week because
We also had like the bridge collapse in Philly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was. I saw that a little bit ago.
Yeah. We made it past the bridge collapse before it collapsed.
Wow, you were on the bridge?
We weren't. We went that way to head to Connecticut this past weekend. So it literally, like, we passed through there Friday morning. I think it would have happened Friday afternoon, or no.
Okay, I know we don't usually do news updates on the race, but while we're recording this is just like breaking news. It just happened the last couple of hours. What's the Russia shit that I'm missing? So I'm paraphrasing, and I might be completely wrong because I'm taking this from a bunch of different news sources, and I'm not sure what exactly is going on. But apparently, there was a mercenary group, a large mercenary group that Russia was using to fight Ukraine. And they bombed their own mercenaries after they spoke out against the Russia's military command. And the leader,
although the Russian military command is denying that they launched the rockets at the mercenaries, but
But the mercenaries are now saying that they are going to take revenge and they're marching on Moscow as we speak.
Yeah. These are people that were like friends with Putin, during 2018 through like 20 until like probably 2 or 3 hours ago.
2 or 3 hours
Honestly,
ago. Yeah.
Any way you slice it's not good news.
Yeah.
Because
nah.
in between all of that, there's innocent people that are gonna get caught up in it.
I
So.
say the potential good news is like Russia, the whole political system could be upheaved and changed, and we may be ending this war, and they may be ending their war in Ukraine all on their own. So
who knows?
We'll
see.
Maybe
back to fantasy. good
yes,
fight.
Please, can we get back to fantasy?
For fuck's sake. Yeah. Back to fantasy rules. Yeah, screw all that. I don't care what's going on. What's going on in
like we
life,
never watch the news anymore.
Yeah,
I've only been watching the news because of the submarine stuff, and now all this other stuff's happening too. It's like
my own life is dramatic enough.
Yeah.
So on personal life, Alan.
Yeah, personal life. So going to a soccer game tomorrow. Other than that, we got like no plans for the weekend. It's like our first weekend in a long time. Oh, so last weekend, I was off on Monday for Juneteenth, which they made a federal holiday, so banks were closed. So I was off. Mm-hmm. So I took my son fishing and my daughter fishing for her first time. My son had been fishing with me before, but he didn't remember. He's like, "Dad, it's our first time going fishing." I was like, "No, we've been before, but you were younger. You probably just don't remember." But yeah, I went and bought them rods. So they each got their own rod. I got a little like frozen Elsa rod for my daughter. And she actually reeled in 2 croaker with it.
Oh, hey.
That's usually the one that gets the 70-pound cobia.
Yeah, exactly.
And
then I actually bought like it's a smaller rod, but it's an adult rod for my son that he can grow into. So I figured I'd get him a more real one.
He caught nothing.
No, he got 2. They both caught 2 fish apiece.
Nice.
My son just went up and picked up the fish and threw it back in after we took the hook out. So he really? It was all catch and release. I'm not.
Okay.
We weren't keeping in the fish, and they weren't that big anyway. But yeah, they had fun. I mean, my son's been like super fascinated with sea creatures, so just the idea of going fishing just fascinated him, and pulling the fish, he was just super excited.
Maybe he'll be the next Aquaman in the next Aquaman movie. That would be cool.
Maybe we'll see. So that's it. That's all my week has been. I was fishing, and then just getting through the days. So
yeah.
How about you guys? What's going on?
My things are okay. A lot of the things that I was over the months, almost a year now, freaking out about, they're slowly working themselves out. You know, the new job's fantastic. Still love the people I'm working with.
Awesome.
That's it's a blessing. And the teleworking and being able to balance that with, time with the boys this summer, and that's all great. The issues with pay and the leave benefits from the last job, like it's finally getting paid out. That's great.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
He's like,
it's almost
for that.
Yeah. But just, the timing of
10 years later.
Yeah, I know, right?
No more ramen.
Yep. And talking with Meredith, as as friends, and not sure. I mean, I know what I want out of it, but I think she's taking a step back, and don't know where that'll go, but that's okay. Yeah. Okay. So we'll see. You try to tell yourself in those situations, don't be too hopeful. Certainly can't plan anything out in your head and whatnot, and definitely got to stay focused on me, and I am. Especially health-wise, running more. I've been hitting the gym, slowly shedding the pounds, feel better in so many ways. But gosh, I'll tell you what, when I let my mind drift too far into the future and trying to picture that without her is not fun. So, that's, for so long, like I felt like I had so much to get up here and complain about when, really, I had everything I needed right in front of me. And now all that stuff it's worked itself out, and the only complaint I have is, and the only worry I have left is that relationship, and ooh, it's tough.
Yeah.
But yeah, but it's good though. We've had some conversations, and yeah,
communication is key, as we
yeah.
know. If Jordan hadn't taught us one thing, it's if we could just talk about things a little bit better and a little bit more regularly.
Yep. Yeah. So there's that. We're all hanging out at the pool tomorrow.
Okay.
So see how that goes.
That'd be cool.
Does it get rained out?
We did water country today in the rain.
That's
water country's fun in the rain.
They only paused the rides a couple times throughout the day, and there were no lines because it was raining. But it was warm enough, so like you're already wet,
always what
right?
kills
so who
me.
cares?
Like, why? I just never get it. You don't want to go to a water park because it's raining. I can understand the thunder and lightning,
right?
But you don't want to go to a water park because it's raining. I've always that's baffled me.
Are people that don't want to get splashed when they're at the pool?
Yeah.
Don't get me wet. I'm in my bathing
Don't
suit.
get me wet. I'm in the water.
Look, there were parts. Since there were no lines, when we found a ride that we liked, we would ride it 6 times.
Nice.
And then we'd be like, okay, that's enough of that. Let's go to the next one. And it would be pouring down rain, walking from one ride to the next. And the kids are just splashing and everything and slinging water at each other. And it was a very joyful day.
Should be. Yeah.
And did that with Meredith and her kids. And
it
was a good time.
Good.
So how was Connecticut?
Oh my goodness. I thoroughly enjoy Connecticut. So for those that don't know, Chanel and I took a trip and we went to a friend's wedding. So our friend Ryan Purrington got married to his now wife, Maddie, on Saturday. They were at the wedding. You guys met Maddie and Ryan. Okay. The Asian guy and his
Yeah.
So anyway, we drove up. Oh my God, when I tell you we drove up Thursday night, we hopped in the car. Supposed to have left Charlotte at 5. We didn't leave till 7. Anyway, we got past Maryland at 1:30 in the morning, Friday morning. Got to our hotel, which I picked the bottom of the barrel because I didn't want to spend a bunch of money, and I paid for literally the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah.
We hovered over the bed for about 4.5. Exactly. We hovered over the bed for 4.5 hours, and my body would not rest because I was like, man, I should have spent the extra $20 and gone to a Holiday Inn where I would have been comfortable. So like I said, we climbed to bed at 2. I was up at 5:30. I was like, Chanel, let's go. My mind won't let me sleep, and drove the rest of the way through New York, not necessarily in the right order, but through New York, through Philadelphia, through Delaware, all that good stuff, and into Connecticut. We got there, did the little welcome party Friday afternoon. We slept phenomenally Friday night. Saturday, we had a beautiful wedding in a little place called Mystic, which is just super cute. It's that really kitschy place that you go. There's places where they have homemade ice cream, and they've got homemade chocolate and fudge, and they've got seafood everywhere. And I was like, okay, I'm from seafood area, but when you can go get lobster on the cheap, you get lobster rolls and all that sort of, it's like, man. And it kind of reminded me back at home where the restaurants, because it was all on the water, people pulling up in the boats and hopping off and going and getting food. And the difference is there's no humidity there, so my allergies went down. It's all green out there, but my allergies didn't mess with me nearly as much. So I was in a much better mindset because I just wasn't feeling all of that junk going on. It was just and then the culture up there was just really weird, hearing certain music on the radio and with a different crowd. It's this doesn't match the crowd, but everybody's enjoying it. And there's not the looks that you get when you walk into some places, down south. And it was just really, really, really nice. It was really weird. People were everybody was nice. In my mind, they're Northerners, so they're going to be rude and they're going to be this, that. And of course, that's that whole now pause for a second. Going through New York, that was a shit show. Driving through New York, oh my God. Like there was a guy who literally roped all 4 of his doors together because he had smashed into on the side so bad that his driver's side door was in a V shape. You could look into, like, if you stood on the side of his car, you could see into his car from his closed door where the gap is supposed to meet. No, you were seeing everything. And this asshole was flying at 90 miles in a 55 on his cell phone with all of his doors roped together. Like, dude, that is why
he's about to get it again.
If you are a patron of ours, you can stop paying for us right now and go get that repaired. Like, you really, that is not safe.
Look, Meredith was up in New York for a couple days to see a play. She stayed with my brother. He's in a nice apartment. They have garage parking underneath, and she parked it there, stayed 2 days. When she went to pick it up, somebody had gone in there, and since hers was the spot closest to the opening, they popped the door open, and now the door is all jacked up. We got to do an insurance claim, like it barely closes. And of course, all the body shops like that the insurance company has to fix it, they're like, at least 2 weeks. So with all this rain, we've been trying to find ways to keep it from getting in there because she still has to go to work and everything. And yeah. So thanks, New York. Appreciate you.
Awesome. But anyway, Connecticut was beautiful. We went to Providence, Rhode Island, and we did a gondola tour. That was really cool. Then I drove back, and because of the bridge collapse, our 11-hour trip turned into a 14.5-hour trip. We were going to stop in Richmond and stay with a friend, but he ended up getting caught up doing with business and stayed an extra day in DC. So that means we drove the whole way back to Virginia in the rain, and we had to go through West Virginia. So that was not fun because the 18-wheelers are being assholes out there. I really wish State Patrol would do a little bit more patrolling. But anyway, it was fun. And now we're back, and we're trying to get back into the swing of life. So
okay, cool. Well, speaking of getting the swing of things, you ready to get into the swings of unexpected absences?
Sure. That was a horrible transition.
It was. I tried. I was like, please be a cool name to get a transition. Because I can't remember the name of the chapter, and I was like, oh, and it's not.
This doesn't work.
I heard him.
I'm just gonna go with it.
Like, wah, wah, wah.
I need the trombone sound. Yeah. So anyway, chapter 16, unexpected absences. So
we have Eggy now. Egwene's back.
Yeah, we're in Egwene's point of view.
Eggy.
They're somewhere near the Andor border in Murundi, heading up towards Tarvalin, and Egwene decides to call a meeting to the tower. And she comes, and she's like, "Why are you saying this? I'm right here."
Giggity.
But all the formality. Yeah.
It's so powerful that everybody knows it's announced.
They're it's announced. And
all the formality with like the novices can't put together their novice dresses because they just don't have the supplies, and everybody's look a little rough, but they're still doing the pomp and circumstance.
Exactly. Yeah. So she calls a meeting, and they have a little chit chat in the open. Because they're telling that they're going to stop for a few days. Is the main gist of it.
The horses need to rest, and mostly the wagons are in badly need of repair.
Yeah, but it's becoming so the tension you're starting to feel is so. Egwene's starting to make these decisions not based off of what do we call them, the sitters?
Yes,
like what they're advising her,
the babysitters,
right? The baby, what they're trying to be puppet masters, and even Shiriam, I guess, had asked in the past to stop, take breaks or whatever, and Egwene wouldn't listen to her, and now Egwene wants to stop, and Shiriam's being dutiful, but also taken aback, like I didn't see this coming. So you could see this division where Egwene's slowly but surely doing her own thing. She's not taking the advice of the people that are there to advise her, and it's starting to wear in some folks here.
Yep.
She even had a snarky comeback. Speak to me again after you've talked to the wheelwrights and the farriers. will not go far with horses dropping dead and wagons falling apart. Like Shiriam did get on her like 3 days, mother. Are you serious? Like I've asked to stop many times, and now we're stopping. So I completely agree. Shiriam's thrown off. In the reading it, it's like there's got to be another reason why. Like this is not the it. It's not just because people are tired. What's the real cause?
Yeah. Yep. And Swan's going through as well here, going through the report saying, every supplies are short, coins short. They're running out of food. They're running out of supplies. They're running out of money. Things don't look too good where they are.
No.
So, but she's trying to hold things together. And there's a little bit of talk also about Armelins and I don't know if it's here or in the next section. I think it's in this section where they talk about how short some of the Armelins have been. And,
well, yeah, I do think there is one major change to kind of pay attention to, and that's in Shiriam, and she is acting more like her role, and that I guess with being a sitter of the Armelin, or not sitter, but being what's the term? What is her? Whatever her role is,
she's the keeper of the Chronicles.
Keeper of the Chronicles.
Keeper.
Speaker of the House. Keeper of the Chronicles.
So like she's actually like following more direction. She's listening to what Egwene's asking her to do, and Egwene's like, I have a lot of faith in you. Get these things done. And I'm like, even in reading this, just based on Jordan's writing style, was like, is this misplaced faith? But that was where my mind went to first. But
yeah. But there's a fox in the hen house, because before anything from this before we switch to the next point of view.
No,
about the fox in the hen house.
No,
Halima's hiding corpses, burying corpses in the snow. She expects that they'll not be found until spring, and she also reflecting on how she hardly remembers being a man anymore.
Yeah, that transition.
Yep.
It's happening. After my 4th drag show in college to make money so I can eat, I started to feel that. It was like
my favorite. I still will not forget the time I went to IHOP and you were in drag. And
did I have a beard that time?
Yes,
that was the best. The bearded,
Went to IHOP and the guy refused to sit next to us. Like he asked to change tables because of Ian.
Oh yeah,
and he was like, and Ian just like in character just went off on the guy, and it was just the funniest thing in the entire world.
Yeah,
because you were coming from a Rock and Horror Picture Show. Yeah.
Yep. There were the staff there when I was done giving him the business was like, "That's right, you get him." I made some fans at IHOP.
I would have died that day. Absolutely died. I don't know. I probably would have joined you just for the hell of it. Like, yes,
exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, it was great.
Would not be able to help myself.
Yeah. Hey, I'm not going to stand by.
The guy refused to sit at the table next to us because of yeah. That was Norfolk.
Yep.
Well, that makes sense, I guess.
Yeah.
I was about to say a joke about sailors, but I'll leave it alone.
Yeah. So.
We all know.
We do.
I'm not going to say some of the stereotypical comments. But anyway, they haven't aged well. Things we used to say when we were younger. So Erengar, Halima, what thoughts on her in the mix?
Little more chaos,
killing people.
Yeah. I mean, lots of people are dying these days in the books. What's new?
Yeah. But
eventually, I don't care how good you are at hiding bodies. Eventually, they get found.
Or eventually, you realize that your numbers are dwindling. Like, where'd Timmy go? Have you seen Timmy? Right. Anybody seen Timmy?
Yeah.
So, I don't think I realized exactly that was what was going on. I think I kind of like glanced over that.
It was like very
quick
short.
Clip.
Yeah, it was like a very, very short, like little piece here, because we know that like clearly she's manipulating a lot of what's going on in general. But I think I just completely like put that out of my mind.
There you go. Who did she kill?
Ooh, that's a good question. Nobody important, clearly.
Yeah.
Everybody's important, Chris.
Everybody's important.
Sure.
Life is precious. People are important.
We'll keep reading.
And we're moving on.
I mean, I have a very dark sense of humor, so coping with things like the submarine thing, I definitely saw a lot of funny things that I giggled at that I shouldn't have, and I'm probably going to hell for. But yeah, at the same time, it is tragic.
Yeah.
But do you guys watch Hank Green at all? He's like does like science talk or whatever on YouTube and TikTok and stuff like that. He said someone asked him a question about like if they're going to recover the bodies, and the way he put it was so perfect. He said at that level of pressure, cells literally don't exist anymore. They get compressed and disperse. So you go from biology to physics.
Yeah.
I was like, wow.
Bruh. Yeah.
You just became physics.
Yes.
You just became atoms.
Like, yes. You would just have to drain the ocean.
Oh no, there's nothing to drain. I mean, there's nothing. There's
no
biology there.
They become one with the ocean.
Yeah. Anyway, so moving on after more submarine talk. So Egwene, back to Egwene's point of view. This is when people start coming up to her, telling her that you need to do it this way and that way. So
this caught me off guard for a second because I didn't realize that they were prepared for this. That this was part of Egwene and I guess Swan's plan.
Yeah.
But when this first started happening, I was like, "Oh no, they're not talking to Egwene like that." Like after everything Egwene's been through and what we've learned of her character, she's not going to put up with this. So like up until the point of her talking to Swan, be like, "Oh, it went exactly as planned." I was like, "What is going on here?" Like I thought she was brainwashed or something, or like
I still think she's brainwashed, but it's by our evildoer, and to what end I don't know. I feel like what she's currently setting up right now may end up becoming their downfall to some extent, but I'm with you. I knew in my mind that Egwene was definitely turning the tables and manipulating everyone else by playing the fool. But there were parts in there where I was like, maybe she's not, but hopefully she is. Like there were definitely moments where I was a little confused as to what the end game was there. So I'm like you. I was excited when she finally showed her true, self. Yeah.
So I mean, it's Lelaine and Ramonda who come up to Egwene and argue with each other about the Ball of Winds and how it's going to be used. Is what it first starts as. And then it kind of goes a little further about controlling Egwene, or and Egwene's in this really weird predicament where she has to assert her authority but doesn't want to assert too far and really to a rebellion within her ranks. It's this politicking, and she's not. Yeah.
I mean the whole like next time the mother encounters Elaine or Nynaeve and Tel'Anriad, we should pass on instructions. Like they were having a conversation amongst themselves. She was just there privy to it so that she could get her direction. That's kind of how they made it seem. And it's like, maybe what the boy does when we reach Camlin, it's a pity the girls didn't think to set regular schedules to talk with each other, like belittling really the entire party of our two river folk in Elaine. In regards to what they've achieved, I mean, yes, what they got out of the Bowl of Winds was winter when they needed spring, but they at least got weather.
Right.
They've had a turn of events, and I guess maybe the whole of spring was skipped over because it was being blocked, and now we're in the right season. Maybe things are reset properly. I don't know. Like we really haven't gotten into that much, or maybe the bowl did go haywire, and as these women said, like they turned it over to amateurs to work this magic when we have people here that are skilled and apt at weather magic,
right?
And we could air quotes have done a better job. There is some validity to maybe you should let those that know what they're doing handle it, but at the same time you did appoint this girl to lead you. So
what do you mean those who know what they're doing? Define that.
Who assume they know what they're doing.
That's where I would have gone.
let me rephrase
I think the reality is that nobody knows what they're doing. They think they have. They've just grown so far from what their initial mission and intent was anyways.
Oh yeah.
They don't know what they're doing. They know what their ways are.
Yeah. I mean, so you know how to control the bowl of winds, but you have no idea where the discs are that you're supposed to be protecting.
Right. You know, I always think of that and I'm like, if you can't do your primary duty, like don't
duty.
Don't get in other people's business.
Yeah. Yeah, so they, ask the messages be passed on, tell around Riyadh. Then Chessa enters Gawain during the midday meal and mentions that Mari seems to have wandered off, and also mentions that was it Salami? Salami. I can't don't pronounce it.
That's who's dead. They're dead.
It's nowhere to be found either. Dead. Yeah.
It's the slaves. They're killing all. She's killing anybody close to Gawain.
Yeah.
She is killing anybody close to Gawain.
Yeah. Halima is.
Yeah. That way, Halima doesn't get caught. That's what it's all about.
So yeah. Also during this is when Swan comes in and mentions patterns that she has noticed and brings it to Gawain's attention.
Which I thought was very interesting too. We do have a lot of younger people that are in charge. So how much manipulation is happening to them in the background that we're not seeing?
Oh, it's got look. None of these Aes Sedai are okay with giving up power. We've learned so much about how they structure themselves, and it's their age, how long they've been Aes Sedai, but also like how powerful they are, and they're constantly sizing each other up. They're constantly trying to shuffle the pecking order. They're not going to let any of these young ones go untouched. They're going to try and, like you said, pull strings, manipulate. So I believe they're all getting it from every direction. Yeah.
Yep. And then this is the scene I kind of hinted to earlier where Ramonda comes back in and then it's like, so Pelavar showed up and I'm going to lead the discussion. You're just a figurehead. You sit back, take a seat.
Yeah, you'll say hello, introduce me to speak for you, and then be quiet.
And be quiet.
They both kind of had that same like.
Yep.
Yeah, and
you're gonna meet with people.
Lelaine says the same thing. Yeah.
And this is after she went behind them and set up this meeting anyway.
Like
they found out about it after the fact.
Right.
So right then and there should have told them like she's got bigger plans, but they're so in their own head about how awesome they are.
And I like how they both. The first one is like, and so is gonna come talk to you too, but you don't listen to that. I need to be the one doing this. Then the next one comes in. Well, I know so and so already said that they're gonna talk, but you need to name me, and this is why. And this is where I'm losing my mind. But like very shortly after, I get some relief because clearly Egwene, and she hints to it. She's like, I can't take much more of this. Like the internal dialogue. Like I just want to put them in their place now. Nope, got to keep it together.
Yeah.
Try and act like submissive, like, oh yeah, sure, okay, no, you're right. Da, 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 da. That's when it starts clicking. I'm like, okay, she's plotting here. So a little relief.
Yeah. She talks to Swan about it, and Swan says, but she also needs to Gawain needs to figure out a way to take control. I mean, she can't lose too much. It's a fine game she's playing. I mean, she needs to delegate well because she can't run everything. There's no way she can. That a good leader doesn't try to run everything. They do delegate, but at the same time, as a good leader, you can't give up enough power where you don't have autonomy anymore, and you're just a figurehead. I mean, so there's a line there, and I've never been in that big of a situation where we're running that large of an organization. Because this is still, it's not the full White Tower, but it's still a large group of people. There's a line there that needs to be walked. I mean, you have to be able to delegate well, but you have to be able to delegate to the people you can trust and then not undermine your authority at the same time.
Yeah.
And
that's not happening very well, but it will.
I mean, that's very true, even on smaller scales, and my last 2 deployments, I worked as a platoon sergeant of small platoon of 40 and some change people. But even then, we had so many different tasks. You've got to rely even on your crappy leaders beneath you. You try to guide them a little bit and empower them where they can do some good, but you have to use the people around you. You can't do it all by yourself.
Give them a nice little shit sandwich. Good thing, bad thing, good thing, you know.
Right. Just get them really excited about either the thing that they can do the least damage with.
Yeah.
Or, you know, generally you could find something they're good at and let them run.
Here's a toothbrush. It's a really cool toothbrush. Now scrub the floors.
Ooh, I can't wait to paint this fence white. It's the best time I've ever had. My goodness. You couldn't pay me to stop painting this fence.
Oh, when we're done, MRE's on me.
Yeah. Who wants a vegetable omelet?
And the one random guy when you're at the wedding with the open bar and he's like, hey, next one's on me.
I probably said that 10 times at your wedding, Chris. To everybody that got in line around me, I was like, let me get this one for you. All right. Because you just that cool. I got you.
It just reminds me of the same type of person that's the painted fence is cool.
Yeah. Oh, the bartender probably couldn't stand me. Every time I would just lean in and go, put it on my tab.
Like you haven't heard that a million times.
And they would give that laugh and smile and go, oh, ha, it's clever. That's clever.
And they were happily putting it on a tab. They were like,
yeah, right.
Yep. He said, put it on a tab. Yeah.
Oh, it's going on a tab.
It was.
You ever seen like the TikToks where it's like things that cashiers or waiters or bartenders hear all the time, and like working as a bartender, you hear the same lines all the time. Like something messes up with the card reader. Like, does that mean it's free? Like, yeah. Like every time. No, it doesn't mean it's free. It means
it means we're gonna try it again.
It means we're gonna try it again. Or you're gonna find another. You're gonna find another more payment.
Yeah. Now, see, I'm the one to be like, I do get the friends and family discount, don't I?
Yeah.
Do you know how many times that works for me?
Or I know the owner. So do I. Which your point is.
I also know he likes to make money.
Yeah. I used to love that one as a bartender. I know the owner. I was like, yeah, so do I. What's your point? Like, you're going to give me this drink for free. No, I'm not.
How about you call him and I call him? We'll see who he answers for.
See who backs up. Care how well you know. Anyway, and then we switched to Shariam for like one little blip at the very end.
She's getting the shit kicked out of her.
She got worked over.
Oh, bad for Shariam.
Yeah. Who's beating her up?
That's the question.
Is it the Watcher?
You know, my mind went to the Watcher, but then my mind went to Halima. But then my mind, like, I don't know at this point. Like, her name is Halima, right? Am I saying the right name? Yeah. Like, I feel like she should already be in the know. Like, she's already literally in Egwene's mind, manipulating the heck out of her. In my mind, that's what she's doing. I could be completely wrong. She could just be making her sick or something. I don't know. But and then the Watcher would be another good option, but I don't feel like that's his style. He would just sit in the background and literally watch.
Yeah.
So I really, maybe we have the Spider in their midst.
Yeah.
That was my next question. Maybe Grendel is sneaking in and out, and
Mageddon's the Spider,
or Mageddon, whichever one. Mageddon.
Yeah.
Or who's the one that begins with an S? Semirog. We still don't know what's happening there. Could be Semirog.
It could. At this point, there's not enough information.
Yeah.
Like, remember when you take the test and that's like option D, not enough information. I'm circling option. I'm bubbling in option D, not enough information to answer that question.
I filled in and erased a couple, and then I went with not enough info.
Exactly, because just no.
Nice try, Alan.
Yeah.
Not gonna get us there. We don't know.
We have no idea.
And we're not supposed to know.
Or maybe we do know, but we don't know that we know.
I don't know what I don't know.
I know that you know that we know.
And every time I know something new, it expands the amount that I don't know that I don't know. But I recognize I don't know
either. That's why she's getting beat up.
brains.
I thought we weren't talking about the submarine anymore, Alan.
These people.
Talking about what?
The submarine anymore.
No, we're not. So anything from this chapter before we move to chapter 17? Out on the ice.
Chapter?
No, that's it. It ends with her getting beat up.
It does.
So
for sure, yeah.
I've been reading into how they built the submarine and some of the safety protocols that they cut corners on. And here's the thing.
Chanel, let me say something before you say it. Chanel says it's irony, and I'll let you say it now. Go ahead.
It, to me, again, from my background in, we don't cut corners for safety for nothing. And just reading through the plans and it's like if a bunch of people signed up to get put on a massive trebuchet to get launched into space with a grocery bag around their head so they can breathe. It was
this idea was like high school Ian and Alan coming up with it. I mean, that's what it feels like, because we had
a good plan.
We had similar type things, like we were like, let's shoot, like for physics class. Like we had a physics class and we had to do an experiment. So we had potato guns. So we were gonna shoot Ian at point blank range with a potato and see what happened. And literally we're about to do it. And we said, let's test it first. So we stopped, literally about to shoot him. And what was it like?
We stacked some boogie boards and
we got 3 or 4 pillows, some boogie boards, and a 2x4, and line them all up and see how far the potato would penetrate through all of it. It went through all 3 pillows, cracked the boogie board in half, and let it dent in the 2x4 at the very end.
And the potato disintegrated.
We're like, maybe we shouldn't do this.
Yeah,
Alan would still be doing this podcast talking about that friend he had back in the day.
The idiot let me shoot him with a potato gun. And...
Right.
I feel like these people were like me and you back in high school. Let's just go throw some things together, and I think it'll work, right?
Yeah, and I don't want to make light of it. I mean, I know we're laughing some. There was loss of life, but man, I had to stop, because the more I looked into it, I was like, why did anybody? Not only why did they sign up for this, why did they pay money? That just, oof, bad planning.
Bad.
Anyways,
chapter 17.
Well, hold on. Before we go that far, first off, the irony is they cut corners and they were out there looking at the Titanic, which is a prime example of why you don't.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cut corners. And then back to the chapter. I love the whole, they couldn't have handed me the haul in any better of a way. I love the fact that by the end of this chapter, Egwene is completely full of herself, and she's like, Swan, they couldn't have handed me the haul better if I had told them what to do. So here they've kind of set themselves up. They're 100% against each other. They're, putting Swan in her place. These women are telling Nynaeve how meek she needs to be and how she needs to, go through the pomp and circumstance, but then also hand over. And then we have Gareth Bryn, who is 100% thrown himself into the lot with Nynaeve, and even
Egwene.
against Egwene, thank you.
Yep.
Even against the better wishes of everybody else out there, who the sitters are still really apprehensive about him. And now we're about to move into a position where we're going to see power moves made. So yeah, I'm excited.
Here we go.
Yep. So you guys ready? Chapter 17?
Yeah.
Chapter 17. Out on the ice. So they're going to go meet with the Andorian soldiers. Meet with some Andorian nobles.
Just a couple of nobles, not many. Just a couple.
Yep. So Egwene's traveling out, accompanied by Sheriam, Swan, Gareth Bryn, and all the sitters of the tower. And I will make a note, because Swan is riding a very, very fancy mount.
Bella!
Yes.
Oh, we're back. I was still jamming. I loved so we love every time Bella gets mentioned and she's back in the story. But there was one little blip where like she thought Bella would get spooked or whatever, and then Bella just kind of straightened out and was like, "Nah, I got this shit."
Yeah. Bella is like I am on the basketball court.
Solid. Yeah.
Like I love that you get the really fast guys. They start trying to shake you up, break your ankles. And I look at them like, you do realize you're wasting energy. And they're like, huh? I'm like, I move too slow to bother attempting to reach out for the ball while you're trying to shake me. I'm just going to stand and watch you and be in awe of your athleticism. And then when you realize that I have a huge wingspan and then I'm also wide on top of that, like you're literally not getting around me. I'm just going to clog
That was a lot of work for nothing.
Yeah. And Bella was like, the snow's here.
Meanwhile, your feet are planted. So
I'm just watching. I even let you get by me. I'm gonna turn around, stick this long ass arm out, and just knock it away. And Bella was like, "Oh, it's just snow. I'm shaggy. I'm furry. Like it's ice. There's nothing going on here I can't handle."
Exactly. And shout out to the Wade Leaf and the Leaf Brothers for that fantastic
Bella clip
sound. I have to do my obligatory thank you every time I use that clip because it's theirs. Don't want to not give credit where it's due. I wish I came up with an idea. So a large escort of soldier scouts and guards are with the party, which pleases Egwene when she shows up. More witnesses, she's happy to see. And as they near the meeting site, Bryn lets Egwene know Ramonda and Lelaine know that Lord Talmanis will be there as well.
Ooh, Talmanis!
Yes.
They got a little contingency present.
Good old Lord Talmanis.
She's like, how did he know? It's like, well, we're in a camp where it spreads. It is what it is.
It is what it is. Yep. So then they had the little meeting. The Andor nobles state that they would not let the Aes Sedai into Andor because they don't want to battle between the Black Tower and the White Tower to devastate Andor, which makes sense.
Yeah, they're trying to protect their people.
Yeah, and Egwene says, "Yeah, no, we're here to fight the White Tower, not anybody else."
Well, not even fight, but to correct this wrong with Elida. And frankly, it's none of their business. Right. This is White Tower business, not for them to worry about. They're going to handle it. But
and of course, they're like, we don't believe you, but if that's what you say, which I mean, hey, like you guys said, they're looking out for their people, which is what's most important to them, and I commend them for that.
Yeah,
can't be mad at them for it.
Yeah.
Which is even more ballsy because, they got their army backing them up and everything. But one of the Aes Sedai was talking about it before, about how ridiculous it is that they're there. Like, if this went down and it was the Aes Sedai versus their army, it would not be a fight.
Yeah.
But still, they're going to defend their land, defend their people, and they're going to make a stand with it. So you got to give some respect to that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you got to also pay attention. Like this little tower, as we've been calling it, or other white tower or whatever, they came with, furs and cloaks and jewels. And so they were trying to show off and show their might. And it's kind of directed with the wrong purpose. Like their idea was to make sure that people understood that they were the White Tower and that they were going to right that wrong. But, honestly, they could have just kind of showed up as themselves and been like, look, we're passing through.
Yeah.
Literally, that's it. We have nothing to do with the Black Tower. As a matter of fact, I don't understand why they don't come clean and say, we're with Rand. So, the Black Tower is literally not our obligation because we're allies, essentially.
Yeah.
Well,
kind of.
you could connect those dots, but I would not put a whole lot of weight on the bridge you make there.
No, I mean, no, not yet. But there's hope.
We just kind of skipped over it, but what do you think about the fact that Lelaine and Ramonda were so mad that Talmanis has been meeting with Gareth Brand, or Gareth Brand's been meeting with Talmanis?
Oh, I mean,
it's
clear they don't like anything happening that they don't have power and control over.
Yeah.
Well, to be running things. They're convinced they're the only ones that can. So it's like, how dare Gareth Bryn do XYZ?
How dare you communicate in the Wheel of Time? Yeah. This is not supposed to have communication.
You're gonna ruin the story.
The other thing is like they haven't really thrown their lot in with Rand all the way, but then you have the commander of their army openly communicating with essentially a commander in Rand's army.
Mm-hmm.
So if they do want to feign like they're not involved with Rand, or if they do decide that they don't want to be involved with Rand, it puts them in a sticky predicament because your commander is making deals with a commander in his army / how do we know you're not going to leave with him? Like you made an oath to us, but who's to say that you're not going to double cross us for, the band of the Little Red Hand and, and Rand. So it's all around scary for the Aes Sedai, and even though they've got the power, they don't have the numbers.
Got the
power. Yeah. But Egwene eventually does concede to the nobles, saying she won't enter Andor, that they'll remain in Mirendi for a month, and they won't.
And then to appease the other group there, like went straight into this is how we'll get our supplies, and this is what we're going to pay, and blah 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
So before the other
very smart
was there, right? Even had a chance to, be upset about it. They were like, dollar signs. Cha-ching.
You know what she didn't do? She didn't allow the others to speak. This is what I loved. I thoroughly enjoyed that moment. I was like, yes, speak. Do not turn it over. Yes, go, 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 go. And I can just see the looks on their faces. Like, is she really talking after we told her don't talk? They probably looked at each other like, didn't we tell her not to talk? Didn't we tell her that we would do the talking? They were probably thoroughly frustrated.
Yeah, I imagine like they were both probably ready to step forward and had their mouth open, and then when she kept talking, they were like, keep it together, keep it together."
Yeah. Slide back to the back.
But yeah,
slide to the right.
All this is going on. You had all these nosy nobles nodding knowingly, and but they're uncertain about Egwene's whole thing, that she's actually going to wait a month and not travel through their lands.
Yeah. Well, I mean, ultimately they're in agreement with it, but everybody there is like, yeah, but it's not that we don't trust you. It's just that we don't trust you. So we're leaving a contingency.
Right.
And we're going to watch. And everybody's like, yeah, we're watching too.
Yeah.
Exactly. All the top lords of this area. Yeah. All the top lords in the area were there.
I got eyes on you.
I'm going to watch you, watch me, watch you. With a watcher over there watching as well.
Yeah.
Probably. Watch each other.
Probably. And then at the end of this chapter, it's a very short chapter, Egwene drops the bombshell that the novice book is now open to all who can channel.
And that she dropped on even Swan and everyone else.
Any age, anybody.
Ace up her sleeve.
If you got a spark,
I am the armor.
We want you.
And this is my decree.
Very smart.
The Pope decrees.
I feel that was probably one of the smartest moves she could have made because it piqued curiosity. And it's going to create opportunity, I'm sure.
But do you think it's going to cause division as well? Like, do you think the Hall's behind this decision?
Oh, no, we know the Hall doesn't want that to happen. Yeah. The Hall has still got their nose like up in the air about who is and who isn't an Aes Sedai.
Yeah.
And remember, by the way they were raised into it, they think, what good is it going to do to bring all these in now? Because they'll have to be novices for 20 years before we allow them to do anything. But in Egwene's mind, she's thinking, so I also thought, like, what about the similarities with her and Rand?
Yeah, that's perfect.
No more hazing. Like, anyone who wants in the sword, he's in.
Yeah. But they're on this mission of we need now. And anybody that can should be with us and part of it.
Sure.
So everybody they bring in now, there's no way to follow the timelines of what Aes Sedai have been doing. That's not possible.
No,
not for what they have to get done. So,
and the number of Aes Sedai have been dwindling for centuries now, and we know this, and I'm not sure how much Egwene knows this. We know this from Elaine and Nynaeve chapters that with the kin and everything like that, there's a ton of them out there. I mean, a whole lot more. And between them, the Sea Folk, the Wise Ones, the Aiel, like there's a ton of channelers that are not Aes Sedai. That if Tarmogoyf, the last battle's coming, you need everyone.
Yeah, agree.
You can't be picky and choosy now. Now's not the time. Maybe 20 years ago. Not now. And that's what Egwene's realized this, that they need everyone. They need every able person they can get.
Yep.
So smart move for Egwene. Now, do you guys have predictions as far as how this will kind of pan out?
Chaos. All right. First off, they don't even have their own building. Like you're traveling in tents, moving from place to place. You left Solidar, like you're headed to the White Tower that you have to conquer. Now, it would be great to have women that could channel that have some knowledge already, because they can use their power against the White Tower because they haven't said the oaths.
Right. And at least get them to the point where they can link, to make whoever's running that link more powerful. I mean, there's certainly advantages to it. But let's say it all depends on numbers. Let's say after this decree, they start marching, 5 or 6 come along. They could probably handle that. If it's 100 or hundreds within the next month that join them, that would only work if all of the trained Aes Sedai there were 100% on board with what Egwene's trying to do. And we know that's not the case.
Sure.
So if the numbers of people showing up get too big, that's gonna be a problem.
Agreed.
Right. I realized my closet door's open this entire time.
You worried about the boogeyman?
No, I just realized that there's nothing in there, I don't think. But
except for the boogeyman.
I figured I'd close it for aesthetic purposes. Although you can see my mic. I should probably do that. I probably should do this before I start.
As we're wrapping up, let's clean everything.
Yeah, exactly. As we're finishing the podcast.
I'm ready, guys. Everything's set.
Here
we go.
You actually sound a lot better.
Take it over here.
Anyway, so that's how we wrap this chapter up with that big announcement, and that everyone any age can now be a novice.
I want to be a novice. Can I be a novice?
Any female.
Well, for this meeting, you need to take your shirt off, Chris. We need to show that you have what women have.
I have bigger tatas and I gotta get back to working on that at one point. Now I could probably wear a good B cup.
That is the reason why I had to close my closet doors, because I do have a secret cache of Angreal back there. That it's secret. Keep it secret. Keep it safe. There's not much in there, actually. I don't think we cleaned it out like a couple weeks ago. So yeah. Anyway, so that's how we wrap this chapter up. So any final thoughts before we move to favorite characters?
I'm gonna pick Tall Mayonnaise. Now you can't.
I was gonna pick him anyways. So
no double pixies.
I was gonna pick him anyways.
Yeah, you say that now.
Last minute thoughts. I want to know the larger role that this group of people on the ice is really going to play. Like all these nobles, like will they join in the battle to re-win the White Tower? Like, what are they just going to go back home once they leave? Like, what's next for them?
A lot can happen in a month.
Agreed. That's why I'm still beside myself. And then, of course, we didn't really.
Remember, the fight could come to them while they're waiting.
So
maybe they're forced to band together and fight together.
And then, will we see Gareth, Bryn, and Swan finally make a connection? Wait,
and who is this person that's going around killing people? And who is this person that's messing with Shiriam? Do they take advantage of the situation and try?
Are they one and the
start
same?
infighting between these groups?
because now everybody's hanging out around together watching each other. And
Why
if they go
not?
camp to instigate,
Oh, that would be
it's trying to get one group to fight the other.
That would be the way to go.
Yeah.
Chaos.
Crazy. Cool. So Ian's favorite character is Tom Mayonnaise. Tom Mayonnaise.
I'm gonna go with Egwene because I love her power play.
Of course,
gotta give it to her.
Okay,
that's the easy one to know, but
yeah. Okay, and like I said, actually, I wasn't going to pick Tom Mayonnaise because he was in this chapter. Because my favorite character this chapter by far is Bella.
All right, there you go, Iris. I think she mentioned earlier she missed it.
She missed it, yeah.
So that was now for you. Got it. Everybody got the double dose.
Yeah, the double dose of Bella. It's been a while. It's been a while. I mean, I've been itching to push that.
Now that I believe, Alan. If you'd have picked anybody else, I would have called you a liar. But I believe we're going to pick Bella.
It's just funny how Bella just pops up out of nowhere every now and then.
Yeah, she's a creator. It's how she rolls.
She's the Hoyd of
wit.
The Willita. Have you read part 1 yet? Have you listened to part 1 yet?
I might not be able to follow you on that path.
Okay.
It's going to be a while till I can work more stuff in my life.
It's all good.
So,
it's well worth it, but it's all good.
I believe it.
I understand.
I'm having a hard time giving this the time, and when I give the time, having the attention to do it. But
yeah,
love you guys, love our listeners. So sticking with it, it'll be all right.
Yep,
it will be.
So next time on the Will Reads, we'll be doing how many chapters? I think 3.
2.
Yay!
Is it 2 or is it 3?
Who's in charge of this show, Chris?
I'm sorry.
It is 3 chapters. No, we're doing 18, 19, and 20.
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah,
is it 1?
3. No, it's 3 really good.
1 plus 2.
It's 3, and we do have a guest. We do have a guest coming on next week, so on Tuesday. So
nice.
Yeah, we have Charnice from What in Color.
Oh,
what?
Oh yeah,
In Color.
That's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a good time. So
looking
forward to that.
Too.
Yeah, they're good chapters. So it's going to be.
I'm excited.
The spreadsheet is in charge. That is correct, Iris.
Yeah, spreadsheet is in charge.
Oh, wrong button. There you go. Yeah, the spreadsheet is in charge. So gonna be a lot of fun. We're gonna have guests on, so come back. Don't forget to like this and subscribe wherever you may subscribe. If you're watching on YouTube, or if you're listening to us, go to our YouTube station. Just subscribe anyway, because we like our subscribers. And if you listen to us on Spotify or wherever, I know Spotify does subscriptions, so you can subscribe there too. It doesn't cost anything. It's just clicking a button and subscribe.
Do it.
And it goes a long way for all the algorithms and letting other people find us. So like us, subscribe, do all those things. We can be found at thewillreads.com. We have links to everything, all of our social media, which is neglected most of the time because I am now way too busy doing way too many things to do social media besides Twitter. Twitter's really the only place I ever post to, just because it's where we have our largest social media following, and it takes the least amount of effort.
If
Facebook,
you come to my personal social media, I'll speak to every now and
then. I would do Facebook more, but I don't even. I deleted Facebook app from my phone, so it's like a hassle for me to I don't even use Facebook, so I deleted it. So
it was so weird to get our link for tonight on Messenger. I was like, "What?
Yeah,
what?
Yeah.
I have a couple of people that's the only way I stay in touch with old army buddies. That's the only reason I still have it. So
I don't have it on my phone. I mean, I still have a profile. I didn't deactivate my account, but it's a pain. I have to go make a purposely effort to do anything on Facebook. So I just don't. So, it is what it is. So yeah, follow us everywhere. You join our Discord, support us in lots of ways. You can support us just by listening to us or with our Patreon. buy some merch. We have lots of merchandise for sale, lots of cool things, lots of cool t-shirts, frosty mug, shot glasses, all those fun things. So check it all out. And yeah, that's all I got for this week. So
until next time.
Peace.
Okay, bye.